Hello everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. So I'm in the clan menu. I have actually set it up to the way I really like it, which is it's sorted by level now. Highest level is Mont Blanc at level 4. I don't think we've had any level ups yet actually. It's a little sad. I just wanted to check some stuff. Okay, so my main character Newkid, he's learning First Aid at 80 out of 100 points. And then afterwards he can do Shield Bearer, which costs a total of 300. So I need 220 more points and then I'll have mastered... Actually, because he comes with the combat combo pre-learned, it might be that the First Aid is enough. He needs 2 soldier skills so I can change his job. And then I can start leveling him up as well, which it might be the First Aid is enough. I don't need the Shield Bearer that much. The human who joined us last time I've turned into a Black Mage. He only has 19 MP, so he's really not very good as a mage. And he doesn't have much magic power either. But the point is I want him to be a blue mage. Unless, if I get a sort of human mage joining me quickly, I'll take that over this guy, but for now he's going to be my future blue mage. Oh yeah, I've got the new archer for whom I bought a bow. Nothing else. We don't have much money yet and the shops don't sell very much. And Charu, who last time learned the First Aid ability, is now learning Sensor, which Sensor gives me information about hidden equipment held by the enemy. Not terribly relevant, at least not now, but there are certain enemies that have special equipment. And you have to, for example, they might hold a second weapon. So you have to steal their initial weapon, then wait for them to pull out the second weapon, and then you can steal the second one. Often enough, the second one is sort of special and you want it. So Sensor would give you information on that. Mostly I'm going to pull those that kind of information from the internet. But Sensor would be a way to check that. I am somewhat tempted to make him a thief, actually. Yeah, I'll do that. Becomes a thief. The reason I want a thief is because you can steal all sorts of stuff from enemies. Right now all I can do is steal shields and steal accessories. And I guess steal gil, but that's useless. It doesn't give you enough money to be worth it. But stealing shields is useful and stealing accessories as well. The most valuable ones are obviously steel weapon and steel armor, because, well, it's not obvious, I guess, if you don't know the game, but they are the most valuable ones, just take my word for it. Did I just give him something that I didn't want to give him? No. And actually you were supposed to become a fencer. But those better stealing options don't become available yet. Yeah, just go with it, I guess. Nothing else to equip. Okay. And I have also given Viola, my main archer, the green beret. And that teaches her the reflex ability block arrows, which means any arrow-based attack now has a 0% chance to hit her, basically. Okay, enough talking. Let's move on to a mission. The missions currently are available are Thesis Hunt, Frosty Mage, and Prof in Trouble. I will be going for Thesis Hunt as the main quest, so I'll probably be going for Frosty Mage. It's cheaper. I saw a bad wizard doing something up in the snow mountains. He's up to no good, I know it. He was making all this ice. By Lordy, the shopkeeper's son. Actually, I should read all of it, so you can see. Winning this will get us 4000 gil, a Legolas sword, and a Chris knife. And cancellations are accepted, so it's probably not a main quest. Let's go with it. And then let's check. If we went there now, the law would be missile forbidden, swords recommended. Now I have people using missiles, so I'm just going to actually walk past my target and then back. And now the law is silence forbidden, adult recommended. I don't do either of those, so this is a law which just doesn't affect me. Before combat I will usually save. Don't be too alarmed by the amount of time I actually spend a lot of that AFKing. You didn't miss much. As I said, I'm only cutting out party management, which after I'm done with that I will show you the results of it. And I will be cutting out random encounters on the world map, essentially. And we should be learning lots and lots of abilities after this mission, which is good. I will actually not be... that's what I wanted. I will probably not be bringing my... Yeah, I can't steal any of those yet. I don't have the ability to steal weapons, armor, or boots, so... It's like, wait, actually don't... Let me just... Wait, I know I can check... I can, okay. Spike boots. Spike shoes for better jumping. Okay, there's shoes. I don't believe I can steal those with steel accessory. Yeah, anyway. If I can, I don't care. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to bring the thief. Unless I feel I really have the space. I do want the mage. He's not going to be much use, but still. Then I'll bring Etoile and Viola. Actually, I should probably bring Nabokov, so... let's bring Nabokov instead of the other mage. There we go. Okay, the law, silence and addle I don't do either, as I said. Let's begin the battle. No more ice. This experiment is finished. Who are you? I do not take interference lightly. Stop your experiments at once. Nobody can get through with you blocking the pass. Okay, to win, destroy all targets. We've not encountered this type of win condition yet, or victory condition rather. I will probably not be actually taking advantage of it. There are two targets here called Magic Device. They each have 15 health. They would be really easy to kill. So what I could technically do if I wanted to go about this very quickly is just make characters run up there, ignoring the enemies, destroying those two things, and then the battle would be over. Instead, I'm just going to fight the enemies. But I'm going to let most of them come towards me so I get the first strike. At this point, because we couldn't level yet, so we don't have good equipment, we don't have good abilities, we're kind of slightly underpowered, I guess. So I'm just going to boost myself. I won't have a good chance to hit this turn, but next turn I can get a better shot in that way. But yeah, in the early fights, it's actually much more important to pay attention and sort of play carefully. Later on, as you gain access to stronger abilities and just generally become better. I keep forgetting what I want to say mid-sentence, but the game becomes easier later on, basically, because you just have more options. Right now we're running basic equipment, we only have our very first skills, because most of us haven't even learned any of their skills yet, so it'll just be a little while longer before we become really powerful. But it's fine. You should note that this guy is a boss enemy. I'll show you that in just a second. You can see that by, you see next to his HP and MP, actually next to the HP and MP letters, which is hit points, magic points, obviously, there's a sort of little badge symbol, which don't know how well that will be able to, how well you can see that in on YouTube, but basically that indicates that he's a boss. Bosses cannot be sent to jail. And only enemies ever have this. We cannot get it ourselves, which is annoying, but if he gets a yellow card, and then gets another one, he will get a yellow card and nothing will happen. If he kills someone with something that's forbidden, he also won't get sent to jail. It's just basically he can ignore those yellow and red cards. And they did this so that you couldn't make it too easy by manipulating the game, the laws. For example, if you were going up against a really strong fire mage, or in this case, let's just go with this. He's a strong ice mage. He's got the second level of ice magic already unlocked. Now I don't know if the law is currently in the rotation, but there is a law which prevents the use of ice magic. So it says forbidden ice. Now, I could have made this fight a lot easier if I'd had the ability to... or if I'd waited until that law is in effect. By the way, a 12 from her weapon gets the Swarm Strike ability, which deals damage and has a chance to poison, but it does reduce damage, as opposed to her standard weapon damage. And even if you hit, the poison is a different proc, so you can hit, but not poison. They're just different, I guess. Darn, I can't really get a good hit in on anyone, so I'll just hit this guy in the face. That way I'm blocking access to my white mage, by just positioning myself in between the enemy and the white mage, just slightly. This guy can fly, so he's obviously ignoring where my characters are standing, which means he does get a hit on the white mage. Which is a little unfortunate, because the white mage is actually really weak against attacks. He doesn't have much defense. But I can always move here and do a cure. I don't think anyone else took damage, so this should be fine. You know, I keep interrupting myself. I could have manipulated the laws, which would make the fight really easy. So, normal enemies never ever break the laws. I've never seen it happen, at least. And now you can get to the white mage. I'm careless. Whew, I was lucky. Yeah, as I said, normal enemies never ever ever break the law. And bosses being immune to it will ignore the laws. And as I said, they did this so you couldn't make fights too easy. Later on there's options to manipulate the laws. So for example, if you're going up against a fight where you know the enemies are going to use, say, poison, and that's really annoying to you, you could manipulate it so that there's a law forbidding the use of poison. Oh, I just forgot that my positioning is really terrible for this. He has an AoE spell. Powerful one at that, you can see. Blizzara is the second level of ice magic. Blizzard is the first one, and Blizzara is the second one, so this does a lot of damage. Not good at all. And so that's why they made bosses, or at least most bosses. I'm not certain if there are ones that don't have this, but at least for the relevant parts, bosses are immune against laws, and so that does make fighting them a little... Well, it makes it annoying because they can break the laws, and they keep getting the animation of getting that yellow card, for example, and then nothing happens. It's just a little frustrating because, you know, when you get that animation, you're really annoyed, and the enemy's just going, nah, I don't care. At least I don't think enemies ever break the laws. I don't remember ever having seen it, but that doesn't obviously not necessarily mean it might not happen. It's just... Okay, he absorbs ice damage. That's sad. It means he also has an ability to heal himself, because he can just use the ice spell on himself, but oh well. I don't care too much if Turner goes down, but I'd rather deal damage to the boss than to the little guy. Just because the boss is much more dangerous, he has the AoE, whereas the sort of random Red Panther, as I said, he doesn't have an AoE. And I will cure myself on the white mage. If the white monk goes down, it's a little annoying, but I don't know. I prefer losing the monk over losing the mage. And I should be out of range on both of them, actually. Yeah, the only one he can go to is the Fencer. Of course, the Fencer doesn't have that much health either. At this stage, none of my characters have much health. And none of them have good defensive values either, but that went well. I will send her right here so she can attack the dog. Again, not doing much damage. Beginning equipment, it's a little annoying, but we're getting our level ups now, which is nice. And in these fights, I'm not going to do so much, you know, cheap improving my... And he's ice mage. No, he's actually drinking a potion. That's strange. I would have expected him to use ice magic on himself for improved healing, but he just decided to drink a potion, which I'm quite happy with. He could have done much worse by using a random damage spell, and that would have been more annoying for my party, whereas this way I can just keep following up and keep attacking and maybe get him down before he... Ouch, that was unfortunate. Maybe get him killed before he can actually do any real damage to the rest of my party anymore. I would like to go through the game with as few characters going down as possible. Sometimes it's just unavoidable in the early fights. In later fights, it actually tends to be the case that you can just avoid losing characters altogether, as in none of them will ever go down. At least that's how it worked out in my previous playthroughs. It's just at some point you're good enough that no one ever has to go down. Your healing abilities are really powerful, and I'll send my white mage right here. No, don't fight, use your white magic. That way I keep both my white mage, who's still not at full health, and my white monk at decent health. Okay, now let's see what the dog does. He can do a lot of damage, but I don't think he can one-hit any of my characters. Though, of course, if he does get the damage and the poison in, then eventually that character is going to go down. But it worked. Darn. As I said, there's a separate chance, or rather, if it misses entirely, it obviously does nothing. If it hits, there's still a chance it only does the damage. The poison is not 100%, but in this case, both things happened. Darn, 1 damage off. Should have gone for the boss, but anyway. Okay, here we see one of the things the judge can do. He can move corpses around. There's some kind of algorithm which makes him decide that the corpses... Wow, 8 damage, that's a lot. Something makes him decide that the corpses are too close to each other, or too close to where the main fighting is taking place. He basically sometimes decides that he wants to move the corpses out of the way so that they're not, you know, blocking too much combat zone. But it's fairly flawed. It seems that at times it's just completely random which he removes and which he doesn't. Okay, he's obviously going... Oh, he's going for a standard attack. Wow. There's no way to set the difficulty in this game, by the way, so don't ask for higher difficulty. The enemy AI isn't very smart. He had 70 MP left, and he decided to just use a standard attack instead of trying to go for a spell, which could have hit at least 3 targets in that situation and done a lot more damage. Because mages obviously don't have very strong physical attacks. Wow, that's the second time in a row I missed. I'm just going to move Mont Blanc right here. Can't do much else. And actually, let's use a thunder spell on that object. Wait, actually, that absorbs lightning. Does it absorb all elements? It appears to. Last hope is fire. It absorbs fire too. Okay, well then, I'm just not going to do anything. You, however, will move back here and use your powerful white magic to heal my fencer. As I said, I'm always trying to make it so that no one dies in combat, but it's not always avoidable. I don't think the poison has a duration on it. It might just be indefinite. Would need to do 3 damage. That's feasible. I did 12. When bosses go down, they tend to not immediately die because they've got some sort of dying dialogue. as in this case. My experiment! No! Whoop. Now keep in mind the victory condition was to destroy the objects, so I still have to do that because killing the boss just isn't enough. This is actually one of the first points in the game where you can sort of totally cheese the system. You could now go around and keep hitting your own party members and keep healing them with a white mage and just spend a lot of time on this map slowly getting experience. Mont Blanc, you just do nothing. Same with you. Actually, I should have healed. Oh well. Because these magic devices obviously do nothing, so I can now do whatever I like and the fight doesn't have a timer on it or anything like that. I could spend however long I want here leveling my characters up by basically healing and damaging my own party members. The problem with that is, firstly, it makes the game a little boring, and secondly, you end up with a lot of high-level characters that have barely any skills, so it's a little... You know, you have a high level, you do a lot of damage, but you just... After this comp fight, we'll be mastering our first abilities on most characters, so it's a little... I don't know. It's not entirely what I'm looking for, so I'm not going to do that kind of exploiting. If you had just gotten permission, it might have been fine. I've also made the... I've changed the rendering that the emulator uses, so I think it looks a lot clearer now. The first 2 episodes are a little smudgy. It's essentially because the emulator was trying to take the sharp corners out of the game, make them sort of smooth, but that doesn't really work for a Game Boy game. I think it looks better in the sort of more pixelated but clear way that it is now. Okay, everyone just mastered stuff. All of their abilities cost 100 AP, and they've just gotten those 100 AP, so... Okay, someone wants to join. Dickens, an animist. I'm trying to think if I want a Moogle for anything. I have my human thief, and I've got my... I need... yeah, I will accept this one. And he's level 3 now because of our average party level having risen. We now get level 3 members instead of level 2 members. But I will be doing some party management in between episodes. You know, everyone mastered stuff, so everyone gets new equipment. But you don't have to witness that, so I'll just show you the finished product at the beginning of next episode. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.